The elation surrounding passage of Prop 300 was short-lived. In 1987, ADOT announced cost estimates much higher than originally planned. Construction costs were skyrocketing. A real estate boom increased costs for right-of-way. MAG and ADOT were in the spotlight over rising costs. Then the savings and loan crisis hit, creating a nationwide financial meltdown.
And we saw revenues coming in significantly under the projections, which really caused a kind of a tsunami happening because we had higher costs and lower revenues. Really put the freeway program in a crisis mode.
Despite the churning economy, the region was moving forward with Valtrans, a transit measure designed to be the second half of Prop 300. The $8 billion plan included 100 miles of elevated light rail and bus improvements. But voters were simply in the wrong frame of mind.
As I recall, it went to the ballot in 1989, which is only 4 years after the initial sales tax for the freeways had been proposed and approved. So it was a little quick to go back to the well.
Valtrans went down in a crushing defeat.
If we'd been able to pass in 1989 the Valtrans program, we'd be way ahead of the curve in terms of transportation, in terms of air quality, in terms of just a better place to live.
5 years passed. The transportation system remained behind the times. In 1994, Prop 400 again proposed a half-cent sales tax, but with revenues divided between freeways and transit. But the public trust just wasn't there. The proposition failed.
By 1994, we had put a lot of management practices in place to restore the fiscal integrity of the program. But I don't think by 1984 that progress really had been seen publicly yet.
The defeat led Governor Fife Symington to put forward his own freeway program. Cut from the map were the Paradise Freeway in Phoenix and 3 West Valley freeways, the Estrella, Grand Avenue, and Agua Fria south of I-10. Other freeways, such as the Santan, Red Mountain, and South Mountain, were left unfunded.
I was just stunned, just absolute shock, and as were my colleagues across the valley, and it was such a setback.
MAG reluctantly approved the governor's plan. The defeat had many taking a second look at MAG. Some proposed a new agency with more authority. Mayor Scruggs believed it wasn't a new agency that was needed, but rather that MAG needed to separate itself from the League of Arizona Cities and Towns.
Things just couldn't continue the way that they were. And there were competing sources from outside of MAG that wanted to get control of transportation planning and implementation in the valley.
Some MAG staff were housed at the county, others at the League. The split meant that all staff would be brought together under one roof. To further establish MAG's credibility, Mayor Scruggs chaired a working group to re-engineer the MAG policy process. Among the refinements, a more transparent, user-friendly agenda to better convey technical information and show how previous committees had voted. Soon, the revenue picture improved. Transportation planners sharpened their pencils. A fiscal analysis refined cost assumptions, putting $500 million back on the table. Enough to add back in the Red Mountain and Santan freeways and to accelerate many others by 7 years.
And that's where the real work came, to program that money so that we could do the most good in the most number of places.
MAG also continued its efforts in air quality. Congress passed the 1990 Clean Air Act amendments imposing stringent air quality requirements. The region was classified as a moderate area for coarse particulates, or PM10. MAG prepared a plan to address the new dust standard. In a separate effort to protect the environment, in 1995 the Regional Council adopted the Desert Spaces Plan to protect open space that defines the natural character of the valley. The plan still serves as a framework for city planning today. From the environment to transportation, the agency's third decade had once again demonstrated MAG's resilience. Yet even more success was on the horizon.